What up, guys? This is TBD SportsCast, college football, coming at you with a live reaction to the college football playoff rankings. We're here Tuesday night late. It's about 10 o'clock. Great game from Kentucky and Michigan State basketball. It was a really good game. Michigan State fought hard all the way to the very end, 2 overtimes, and came out with the dub. Yeah, so we're about to do some live reaction to this college football playoff ranking show. We're still in commercial. We got a minute to go. Isaac's here with me. So we're going to take a look at what we're calling the TBD projection for Week 25. Starting off at 25, got Illinois, Coastal Carolina at 24, NC State at 23, Texas at 22, and Tulane at 21. Some of you guys might be saying, wow, Illinois at 25, didn't they just lose this past weekend to Purdue? 2 games in a row? Yes, absolutely they did, but my argument to that is there's not a lot of 2-loss teams left in Power 5 or honestly in FBS at all. So putting Illinois there just kind of made sense for what we have going on right now. Coastal Carolina, I mean, they're only a 1-loss team with 1 loss to Old Dominion. Sunbelt, not the best conference, but still, number 24, I feel like that fits them. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. Moving to 20 through 16, we got UCLA, Washington, Florida State, UCF, and Notre Dame. Obviously, those make sense. Going, because it just got back from commercial, so we're about to start off. Obviously, 15, Kansas State, 14, Ole Miss, 13, UNC, 12, Penn State, 11, Utah, number 10, Oregon, number 9, Clemson, number 8, Bama, number 7, USC, number 6, LSU, number 5, Tennessee, number 4, TCU, number 3, Michigan, OSU at 2, and of course at number 1, Georgia. Top 10 pretty much makes sense. I got Oregon dropping to 10 over Utah at 11 just because I think that makes the most sense. USC at 7, LSU at 6. Top 5 don't change at all. That's what I see happening. That's what we got for the TBD projection for this. So we're about to get started. They're showing some highlights from this season. So yeah, we're getting excited about this college football playoff ranking show. What do you think about our projections, Isaac?
Mason, I like them, man. I think TBD's got something good going there. They're good projections, and like you said, Illinois in the top 25. They're a 2-loss team, but if we've learned anything, not from a bias standpoint, but if we learn anything about 2-loss teams, doesn't mean they're always a bad squad. But yeah, man, it's going to be good. I'm excited to see what the top 25 and what the committee comes up with tonight. Yeah,
I am too. I'm excited to see those the top. So the top 5 is going to stay the same. Obviously, I don't think we see any jump there, especially after TCU beats Texas at Texas on the road. The most interesting thing to me to see tonight is going to be the bottom 5, right? 25 through 21. Those are the ones that I'm excited about seeing. And here we go, starting off right now. 25, Cincinnati comes in. 24, NC State. Number 23, Oregon State comes back in. Wow, Oklahoma State at 22, and Tulane drops to 21. So how close were we? We were actually 1 for 5, so and we got it right on the money. Tulane at 21. We have Texas drop out. NC State falls to 24. We were only 1 off at 23. And Coastal Carolina did not come in, and they dropped Illinois out. So yeah, man, I mean, I think Tulane coming in at 21 makes sense. Just because obviously they're now a 2-loss team in a group of 5 conference. Oklahoma State and Oregon State, both 2 7-3 teams. That kind of caught me off guard. I didn't think that they would make a comeback, especially after. I guess it's the resumes. I think it's the resumes, and then Cincinnati being a 2-loss team. Moving on up, wow, they're going through this quick. Number 20, UCF. Number 19, Florida State. Number 18, Notre Dame. Number 17, Washington. And UCLA falls all the way to 16. That makes sense.
Yeah, Mason, I agree. I think all in all, that's a pretty good set of 5 there.
So some of these teams we had close. Obviously, UCF does not move up to 17, but they stay at 20. Washington moves up to 17. So we have a lot of close. We have a lot of close teams in this one. UCF and Florida State. And moving on up now, 15 through 11. Number 15, Kansas State. Number 14, Ole Miss. Number 13, Carolina. Oregon drops to 12 after a close loss to Washington, and Penn State is at number 11. Wow. Yeah, so some of these were close. I had Kansas State at 15, Ole Miss at 14, North Carolina at 13, Oregon drops to 12, and Penn State goes to 11. So I had those flipped in my projection. Looks like Utah is going to make the top 10. Isaac, what do you think about that?
I like it, man. I'm curious. I'm looking at it here. Oregon fell pretty far after taking that loss to Washington, which I'm still surprised that they lost. Ole Miss fell just a couple of spots. Penn State, they climbed up. I don't hate that. North Carolina moved up. They're 9-1. I don't understand, just in my personal opinion, why North Carolina is behind Penn State and Oregon as a one-loss team, because I think their body of work has been stronger, especially. Well, I don't know. I would probably have done Carolina at 12, Oregon at 11, and kept Penn State at 13, honestly. I don't know that I would have moved them up that far, but that's my take on that set of 5 right there.
I think it's probably just because of the conference schedule they play in the ACC. They have a loss to Notre Dame, who has some terrible losses.
It's true.
So I think it comes down to that. Moving on into the top 10. So now we have, at number 10, as expected, we have Utah. They're a 2-loss team in the Pac-12. We actually have an interesting meeting coming up between them and Oregon this coming Saturday, which look forward to our podcast this Friday if you want to hear about that. Number 9, Clemson. So it's looking like our top 9 is probably going to be exactly correct. Clemson coming in 9-1 with a terrible loss to Notre Dame. And like we said, it's really hard. It's going to be really hard for them to climb because of the loss that they have and because their schedule, because of the teams they have played are now looking like trash. And a lot of the teams that they've beaten in the ACC that were like, top 15 wins, they're now, 2 to 3 lost teams, and they are trash. So not looking good for the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, like looking at Clemson, they barely beat Syracuse at Clemson, and then Syracuse goes and gets handled by Notre Dame, and of course Notre Dame come out and beat Clemson. But when Notre Dame beat Syracuse, I was like, yeah, definitely a down year for Clemson for sure.
Yeah, and coming in at number 8, obviously Alabama. No change there. 2 losses, both SEC losses. And looking at Alabama's resume, man, I think they just have some really close wins, right? Barely beating Texas A&M at home, barely beating Texas on the road, and then losing to Tennessee by a field goal, and then losing to LSU, go Tigers, by literally a point that was decided on a 2-point try in overtime, and LSU went for it and got it. We've already talked about that. But yeah, that is a really interesting top, what are we at, 8? So quick math, 17. That is a crazy top 17. I don't think that there's going to be much to talk about in the top 7. I think it's going to be USC at 7, LSU at 6, number 5, Tennessee, number 4, TCU, number 3, Michigan, number 2, Ohio State, and number 1, Georgia. I mean, who knows? I mean, we may see some movement here. Let's say maybe TCU jumps Michigan and goes to 3 after a really impressive, ranked win on the road. Or maybe Tennessee jumps into the 4 over Michigan and Michigan drops out. Or maybe OSU drops down. I seriously doubt it. Maybe USC comes in and jumps LSU because they had a close loss. So now we're in the top 6. Number 1, Georgia, go Dogs. No duh. I mean, we pretty much manhandled Mississippi State on the road. As Kirby Smart said, it's week-by-week mentality, and it's really difficult to beat teams on the road in the SEC. Number 2, Ohio State. They've been playing cupcakes all season. They've been dominant against those cupcakes, against those high school teams. So sure. And Michigan stays at 3. So that's I don't think we're going to see much movement here. The fact that 6 and 7 are in this week, that tells me that there could be some movement there. I'm excited to see exactly what that is, but we're about to find out. But I think the top 3 is pretty much a lock. If they put Tennessee in the top 4, I'll probably be upset. I think that's kind of stupid. And number 4, we have TCU. Of course, Tennessee not moving up, so that pretty much makes sense. Maybe they drop Tennessee down a peg. I have no idea. I think it's going to be 5 Tennessee, 6 LSU, 7 USC. I don't see much movement in there. I don't see. I don't know. This could be really stupid or really good. Who knows? We're about to find out when they release number 5 in like 2 seconds. Of course, number 5, Tennessee. We're not seeing any movement. I think that 6 and 7 are going to turn out pretty much exactly the way we think they are with with LSU at 6 and 7 and USC at 7. Excuse me. So apparently they're still talking about what's about to happen. I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to put LSU at 6. There you go. Right now, LSU at 6, which means we have USC at 7. That's a pretty good top 7. I think the committee got it absolutely correct. That's crazy. Only 4 undefeated teams in the top 10, which is only 4 undefeated teams in the top 25, which is crazy. So you got 1 Georgia, 2 Ohio State, 3 Michigan, 4 TCU, 5 Tennessee, and obviously Oregon dropped, so they put LSU at 6. But yeah, this has been a live reaction to the Week 12 college football playoff rankings. We're excited to have some ranked matchups that we didn't think we were going to have this week. So we're going to be looking at some games, and we hope you'll join us on Friday. All right, guys, we'll see you.